What if I told you an enclosed overland trailer is more affordable than you think? An off-road capable trailer with 4 to 5 day self-reliance for all seasons? I compare 8 top brands against Kingdom Camping, and I discovered a few shocking results. My goal is to give you ways to compare and save a lot of money on a trailer. Are you interested? You can decide for yourself which model is right for you. So stay tuned to the end. I may have a surprise for you. Appreciate you tuning in. Here at the Grand Canyon, we're on one of the main points on the North Rim. Back here behind us, we've got our new Kingdom Camping Adventure Pro Mini 2.0. And I apologize for the wind noise, but I'm literally at the Grand Canyon. So this is going to be a live, on-scene, setup camping review video. So let's jump into it. If you're like me, you want to go off-grid and see beautiful places like this. And that is ultimately why we decided to purchase our Kingdom Camping Overland trailer. I'd started off doing the idea of a DIY trailer, then it expanded to more of a utilitarian type trailer that had the drawers and the features and the kitchen and the slide out refrigerator and stuff where I could put my rooftop tent on top. And then I thought, well, why spend that kind of money when I could have more of an enclosed cab style trailer where there's a more sense of security, weather protection, it's easier to stay warm versus a rooftop tent, things like that. And it just kept escalating, and I started looking at other brands and features, and they were just way outside my price range. I did not want to spend $40, $50, $60, $70,000 on an overland trailer. We ended up stumbling upon Jamin at the Moore Expo at his booth and found his brand, Kingdom Camping Trailers, and I automatically assumed it was $50,000, $60,000. And he said, no, it's like, I think the base price of that particular model was like $32,500. I was like, really? And what we noticed was the quality of construction, the options that it all came with. I automatically just assumed, based on all the trailers that were at the Moore Expo from what we'd seen, this is probably $50,000, $60,000 trailer, and I was blown away at the cost factor. So that is ultimately what helped me make my decision. Well, my purpose of this review video is to give you my thoughts, give you a quick little walkthrough of the trailer, but also a comparison to other brands and how I made my decision. Ultimately, it's your decision if you are trying to invest in a trailer. I hope this video offers some insight to help you on your journey if you are considering an overland trailer. So stick with me and I'll give you a quick walkthrough. We have the Overland Vehicle Systems OVS 270 Nomad. This is the 270 Nomad awning. This is the passenger side awning. We chose to get the passenger side version because this is where the kitchen is on this side, as you'll see in a moment. Do apologize for the wind noise. I'll see if I can edit that out, but it's important that you see the outside. So this thing is basically an exterior living room. It's great for a kitchen, gathering area. I'm doing a real wide walk around so you can just see the magnitude and the scale of this thing and how big it is. So I fought the wind hard to get that awning put up, which is why the walls are on. It's because it's so windy. I didn't want the extra uplift of the awning. I can go into that more later. We also have the 23-0 shower back here in the back. I learned last night, no matter how hot your water is, when the sun goes down, when that wind blows through that shower, you're freezing. You want the hottest water possible. So it does do that. It gives you very good hot water. So we've got, as you can see in the background, we are set up here at the Grand Canyon. So I'm going to get out of this wind and take you on the inside and let you see around a little bit. So right here we have the Red Arc system. This is your 1500 watt Red Arc converter, and then this is your Red Arc power management system. Here got a master switch, fuse panel that are labeled. This I added in was just a little strap to keep this is the jacked handle to raise, lower the jacks. It has the fold up, swing away arc jacks. Actually it swings up that way, which work really well. But when you're trying to level a heavy trailer, it takes a lot of cranking. Some people use impact wrenches, but when I'm out in the forest or next to people, I don't want to be bothering them with impact wrenches. It's extremely loud. I also added this just to have a place for a hatchet. This is just a dead weight or board to put under the swing away trailer jack, or trailer jack. Does have the heavy duty swing away jack. You can tell that it's got a little bit of some grease, which is because it's supposed to. It's got a lot of dirt in it right now. Does have electric brakes, and the electric brakes do work well. And he does also have a 50 amp Anderson plug that connects to your vehicle, so you can charge while you're driving. I'm trying to think. Oh, I added a couple little Amazon levels. They're actually on all four corners plus the tongue. That way I can get the trailer level like I want it. And then, of course, same thing with the door. Again, RV cameras on all four sides, all four corners. Skip over the puppy. I added these lights. These are some Amazon LED strip lights, and I just cut them to length and wired them in. I asked, again, customization. I asked Jamin to add in some SAE ports so I could plug those in, and I've got them on both sides in case I ever wanted to have an awning on the other side. And he's got it wired into the Red Arc master panel, control panel that's there below the TV. Push that button, you can turn on all of your lights. You can turn on individual lights on the sides, the front LED off-road light, which I've already used on this trip, which is really handy. You can control the TV from the power inverter. He also has wireless phone chargers, which I can show. Go a little bit more detailed in the interior portion. Again, fold out. This is actually dual screen pop out windows. So you raise it all the way up and then it comes back down. Otherwise it raises up in intervals. But it has a full shade, privacy, has a privacy shade that slides in from the bottom, and it has a bug screen that slides in from the top. So you can actually, slide both of them at the same time, which is a really cool feature. I did include the awning. You can get an awning of your choice if you want an awning, don't want an awning. I actually opted to get the full rack. So we have two 200 watt Renogy solar panels up on top. So we have 400 watts power total on the roofs there. I think 500 watts was the standard, but since we did the full size rack, we had to cut it back to 400 to get those panels to fit. But I think we ran quite a bit last night of power between lights. I added in off-road lights, which I can show in my separate photo. But I actually have rock lights on the bottom. So we have the rock lights on, the awning lights on. Refrigerator is running, and I think that refrigerator, it's IceCo. I think it's pulling about 4.5 amps per hour, something like that. So, and it's hot right now, so it's running more. So we had that on since probably 3 o'clock yesterday. We had refrigerators been running for 3 or 4 days, but it basically charges back up to 100% with the solar panels. Again, this is a review setup from camp. You're gonna see dirty dishes. You're gonna see a campsite. You're gonna see my dusty loved special flip-flops that I bought on the way out here because I forgot mine at home. I mean, you're gonna see dog dishes and sleeping puppy. Say hi, Echo. Yeah, he didn't care. So take you back around to the kitchen. So one thing I will say overall about the kitchen, there is a takeaway. There's kind of a bit of a trade-off with having an off-road capable trailer. If you want a high clearance suspension, so you can really go in the backcountry and really quite literally take this, mildly off rock crawling. He's got a high rake departure angle on the back, which has been awesome. And I actually used it yesterday to get here. You don't ever have to worry about the trailer dragging. And he's also got the aluminum, really strong aluminum rock rail there as extra protection to make sure you don't damage the panels, because you could replace that rock rail easily. It just bolts on and off. If you ever damaged it, bent it up, whatever, you can get you another one. It's not that expensive. And Jamin would be glad to take care of you, I'm sure. So I do have backup lights with it. Does have the arc jacks on all 4 corners. Potential where you can add like a bike rack or additional storage rack, whatever it is you need. You got the trailer receiver there. The one we saw at the More Expo, the trailer that we saw at the More Expo was set up with that unit, and we really liked it, so we had to get it. It's been pretty efficient for as big as it is. It's like an 85 port, I think, 85. It's been pretty energy efficient. It's running about, it's on, we're literally, and it does keep frozen food frozen. If you set it down low enough, it will keep it frozen, like rock hard. Kate had already pre-prepped food for us, which was awesome. So the stove slides out here. So all we had to do was put in pre-prepped food that was frozen, heat it up. I mean, we had pastas. She's got all kinds of options that was already made, and all you had to do is just heat it up, which was awesome. And when you're at camp and you've been riding all day, I swear it is some of the best food. It tastes wonderful, and you didn't have to prepare it. All you had to do is heat it up. It's wonderful. So we do have the Dometic stove, which I was told, I believe this is like a 10 PSI stove, so it doesn't use a whole lot of gas. The quick connect hoses here have valves, so you can turn. It connects down here at the trailer. So it's already pre-plumbed from the propane tank. So this hose comes with it all. So all you have to do is take your hose out, connect it with the quick connect, and back over to the stove, and you're ready to go. Instead of having to take a propane tank out, which is awesome. Because we're used to camping remotely from our Jeep and carrying an exterior propane tank, you know, an exterior camp stove, a Blackstone, whatever it may be. And this is just nice because other than when you have this conglomerate of awning set up, essentially all you have to do is just basically close the doors, close the refrigerator up, put your stuff up, and you're good to go. And we actually got run out of camp a couple of days ago, Thursday, Saturday, Thursday night. We had set up camp and wasn't really planning on doing any cooking. It got in at dark and had a side-by-side come into our camp and was just like circling us with his off-road lights, and we're like, that's it, we're out of here, we're not taking any chances. So a little tip on camping safety: if you're dispersed and you got some guy acting really weird behavior, just leave. Don't try to confront them, don't try to threaten them. If you're on public land, they got just as much right to be there as you do, but even though they're just being stupid. So we packed up and left, and I was amazed at how fast I got the jacks up and everything loaded up, and we were out of there. It was really awesome how fast we could break camp. Now, as you can tell, it's crazy windy right now. So hats off to OBS. Their product is holding up really well. If the wind can ever die down some, we're going to try to go ahead and take the walls down and close the awning up as we're leaving in the morning early. And we'll probably use it for dinner and then hoping the wind's going to die down about dusk, which it did yesterday. So this is midday, so it's probably the worst it'll see. So if you ever do deploy an awning, I don't care, because this is a freestanding awning. I don't care what company says that it's a freestanding awning and it's not windproof. It is a sail, it's like a kite. Wind is going to lift it up. The awning may be okay, but the mount might not. So that's something else to consider. This is mounted extremely well on the roof rack here. Comes with the factory hardware for the OBS awning, but if you leave this out, you better tie it down. That's just my free tip for you. One of the reasons we put the walls on is because with a low pressure stove, it's hard to cook anything because the wind's constantly blowing your heat away, so that fire can't literally sit constant on the pot because it's literally being blown away. So this really helped us out a lot last night. Let me talk about the suspension real quick. So, Cruisemaster suspension, as you can tell, it's dusty. It doesn't have quite as much suspension give, like bounce. It rides a little stiff, but again, it's still neat. It may break in a little bit. I mean, it's probably got, I'd have to do the math. I'd have to look. I towed it home, so a little over 700 miles when I picked it up. And then from Northwest Arkansas to Grand Canyon, do the miles on that. That's how many miles it's got on it. So it's probably getting to the point of being broke in by now. It does have one grease fitting, and I greased it before we left. I also checked the torque on the bolt, so if you are having to getting one of these, do make sure you read all the instructions for your maintenance and stuff, because I did and found out that I needed to retorque everything. The big bolt, that's your adjuster bolt that allows you to adjust your alignment. I think that was supposed to have been 150 foot-pounds of equivalent. It was in Newton meters or something, and I converted and got Newton meters. So, it needed torquing down even after 700 miles. So I'm about to check it again. Anyway, the trailer does have the brakes, electric brakes, plus the hand brake on the front. Brakes work great, help slow it down because there's no way the Jeep could stop it by itself. I mean, it could, it just would struggle. Hard on factory brakes. Towing wise, it tows really well. All the way again from Arkansas to Arizona. Lots of bumps, lots of rough roads when we got into Arizona. The interstate system in Arizona is rough. Okay, I know what you're thinking. This is way too much info on the screen. Bro, you're going to make my head explode. I promise this seemingly complex Sheldon-like matrix is as easy to understand as tic-tac-toe. This vital information will go as quickly as possible while I give you hours of information in only a few minutes. That way you can decide for yourself which model suits you the most. So here's the short and sweet version. Here are 8 leading brands compared to the Kingdom Camping trailer, sorted from least expensive to the most expensive in cost range. And here are what I consider important categories of comparison. If I listed out all of the options possible, it would not even fit on the screen. The yellow color indicates a clear winner of the group or a tie with other brands. The gray color indicates a close second place or a comparable option. And the gold simply is a standout as non-comparable across the spectrum. That means it's either incredible value or just way outside the range of comparison. See, this really is an easy to read graphic. And in my opinion, there is a clear winner. Although I'm obviously biased, I'm going to show you how I arrived to this conclusion when I decided to purchase my trailer. Keep in mind, all of these are base price comparisons only. Expensive add-on options are not included in these base prices. Upgrades to suspensions, adding on awnings, adding solar panels, adding various options, none of that's included. All of these are what's considered a base price comparison, and you really need to focus on that one statement. All except for the Hiker brand. Their base price is like $15,000, and I used a custom build tool online on their website so I could actually have a comparable model to other brands with comparable options to keep it as a fair comparison. The categories like suspension, construction type, AC and heat, water storage capacity, off-grid electric, trailer weight, solar, and kitchen setup, and most importantly in my mind, internal cab space and comfort level. These are all comparable metrics that needed to be compared. Let's face it, if you spend this kind of money on a cab-style trailer, it better be the most comfortable possible. Otherwise, what's the point? Just do a DIY trailer or stick to tent camping. So let's briefly wrap this up. Leading the pack is clearly the Kingdom Camping Adventure Pro Mini 2.0 at a current base price of $31,500, which can fluctuate based on customization, credit deducts, or even add-ons. Now, let's break it down by category against other leading brands. Suspension. Why is it that the Cruisemaster suspension and the DO35 Cruisemaster articulating hitch, why is that the winner? It is the industry-leading choice for many manufacturers in Australia and has become the gold standard for off-road adventure. I can personally attest to this suspension and how it tows better than what you would expect. We actually encountered a brand new off-grid expedition trailer on a rough highway in New Mexico, and there is simply no comparison. It was also being towed by a Jeep Gladiator, so you had a Jeep versus another Jeep towing essentially what you would call comparable trailers. Their trailer bobbed and weaved on rough interstate conditions where the road was rough. Where our trailer stayed behind our Jeep as straight as it could be, their trailer was wiggling. It was at that point I was clearly convinced the Cruisemaster suspension lives up to the hype. Insulation. This means you do not roast in the summer and you do not freeze in the winter. Most composite-built trailers include a form of spray foam or sheet-based insulation as part of the aluminum and composite-based construction. The Hiker and other brands that are basically a plywood box construction has no stud framing or multiple layers of plywood. It is simply a 3/4 inch plywood box with biscuit joints, glued and seamed with sealing tape. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking the Hiker brand. They have a huge following and people absolutely love their trailers. This is just how it compares in the overall breakdown and comparison across these 9 brands. Many are convinced plywood is simply better than composite construction because it's less expensive. In this comparison, it's clearly not the least expensive at almost $5,700 more than the Kingdom camping trailer. If I have the option, I'm going to choose composite construction. That's just my opinion. You can make up your own mind. AC and heat. A max fan is not the same as air conditioning. On really hot nights, it's only drawing air through the cab. It's not actually providing cooling. It's only circulating the air. If you're not camping in extreme heat, then an AC is probably not a priority for you. But if you are, or there is a chance that you'd like to leave it open to where you could go camping in extreme heat, having an air conditioning unit mounted on the roof is a huge benefit. Note that the Expedition trailer lists at $52,000 base price and only comes with an AC rough-in? What? That is absolutely shocking at that price point. For $52,000, it better come with the absolute top-of-the-line best air conditioning unit possible. And the Atlas, which is also listed at $54,100, also only comes with a max air fan. That's insanity. Out of this comparison, 5 of the 9 brands included a built-in furnace, meaning you do not need a diesel heater or some additional source of heat for winter camping. The trailers have their own internal heat source. And when you add in the insulation, this means they are super efficient and do not require a lot of heat for the internal space. Water capacity. Black Series Q12 has a massive capacity of 64 gallons of water and 26 gallon capacity for gray water, which is also included a toilet and shower. That is super impressive for a trailer of this size. For those that need a super small capable trailer with a toilet and shower, look no further. If that's what your priority is, go with the Black Series Q12. Just be aware of all that added weight you'll add, which could jump the 4,000 pound trailer towards 4,600 pounds just by adding water. Another factor is heated water and where is it located? Is it bolted onto the side in a storage box? Is it self-contained? Is it mounted on the bottom of the trailer where it can get trail damage? If external mounted, the water will also freeze in the winter, making it useless and pretty much busting your water tank or water lines. Again, the Kingdom camping trailer wins out with internally located tank that is also internally heated. So you heat your entire tank, not just instant hot water at your sink or shower. And for almost $40,000, the off-grid Sprocket base price gives you a tiny 1.5 gallon Rotopax tank and a mount. Really guys, come on. I could get 2 gallon jugs of water at a convenience store and have more. Now to be off-grid, you need reliable electric management. Red Arc is the industry-leading company from Australia with years of reliable production behind them. The ease of use and reliability is without question. Again, the Kingdom Camping comes out on top with the Red Arc battery management system, a 1500 watt inverter with an option to upgrade to 2000 watt inverter. It also comes standard with a 300 amp hour Life PO4 smart lithium battery that is also self-heated in cold weather. And if you know anything about lithium batteries, having an internally heated battery is a big deal in winter months. This allows you to camp in extreme comfort for up to a week using solar power to recharge your battery and still use a lot of electricity during the night or the day. The 300 amp hour allowed us to stay fully off-grid at the Grand Canyon using lights during the day, a water pump when needed. We ran the TV, and the refrigerator ran solid for 2 days, and whatever else we needed with full self-reliance. We could have stayed 4 to 5 days easily before depleting the battery faster than the 400 watt solar panels could recharge. In theory, had we had more than enough water, we could have easily stayed out there past 5 days based on electric alone. Trailer weight. That was a big deal for us. The off-grid Expedition is leading the pack around 1,900 to 2,000 pounds average, with the Boreas, Hiker, and Kingdom Camping coming in at a very close comparable second place. Whatever your tow rig's capacity is, do not forget to factor in additional gear and weight as well as steep grades and mountains. Our Jeep has 3,500 pound capacity and our trailer loaded was 2,600 pounds, but the Jeep absolutely hated towing it up steep mountain grades even after we had re-geared. So do your research thoroughly on towing capacity and factor in additional weights, steep grades, and even temperature and altitude. Solar panels. Panels that are mounted to the trailer is important to me. I do not want to have to keep up with more gear, unpack a trailer or repack, or fuss with a lot of setup and takedown time at camp. Having the best solar capacity possible and mounted out of the way on top of the trailer is a big deal. The Black Series wins out this category at 600 watts, with the Kingdom Camping coming in behind it with 400 to 500 watt capacity depending on which option you choose. The off-grid sprocket, again, and the most expensive Expedition and Atlas trailers do not even offer solar in their base price. This just blows my mind not to have this included in a base price at that price point. Internal kitchen versus bolt-on external box. This was a big deal for me. I seem to be picking on the off-grid brand a bit, but for that price point, I don't want a box mounted onto the side of the trailer where the lid opens up and then my kitchen falls down. I would rather have, drawer slide outs and things that compare to other brands. The Black Series has a full RV style kitchen inside the trailer. You can cook, make coffee, and never even leave the comfort of your trailer. That is a huge win for a trailer of this size. The Kingdom Camping trailer came in as a tie with an all-internal galley-style kitchen with a fridge stove slide-out conveniently located to the right of the kitchen workspace. Again, poor little off-grid sprocket is just a bolt-on external box, and the workflow layout is just not even that great. If you know anything about kitchen layouts in a house, you want a work triangle between the refrigerator, the sink, and the stove, and you want everything closely related. The off-grid sprocket's layout just kind of seems clumsy. The Hiker does not come with a kitchen, only a galley area where the buyer can build it themselves, which only adds more money to your build. It doesn't have internally mounted sinks. It doesn't even really have a space for your refrigerator slide. It doesn't even have space for a refrigerator for that matter. You have to buy an external toolbox and put it up on the front just to have space to put a refrigerator. So anytime you want something from your refrigerator, you have to go all the way to the front of the trailer to get it, come all the way back to what your makeshift kitchen is going to do. And finally, internal cab space. To me, this was the biggest issue. I mean, why have an internal cab space trailer and spend that kind of money? Otherwise, you could do something like an Off-Trax Phoenix, or you could do a DIY trailer. But again, an Off-Trax Phoenix is like $50,000 for something that you're still going to have to put a tent on top of. Again, the Black Series for the win for an RV style setup. The trade-off is the weight and the size of the camper. So I gave Kingdom Camping an equal win in this category due to how open it feels. The interior height allows me to even stand up and put on my pants. I'm bent over, mind you, but I can stand up and put on a pair of pants without any struggles. And it does not have a large or bulky storage fighting for space inside the cab. You can even opt out for no overhead cabinets, and it reduces your build cost. Boreas, Off-Grid, and Expedition brands have a very invasive overhead storage style that allows just enough room for your feet and legs. This greatly cuts down the internal cab size almost in half, or maybe even a third at least. This was very unappealing to me when I was trailer shopping at the Moore Expo. Now, that was a whole lot of information. I hope that was helpful, and I hope it gives you a lot to consider and helps show you how to weigh pros and cons of one brand over another. You can simply handwrite plus or minus your own list. You do not need to have an Excel spreadsheet that I created, but it is important for you to do your homework, ask actual owners of these trailers for their opinions and feedback before committing to such a major investment. I never even thought that I would gain a friend when I bought a trailer, but I know that I can call Jamin at any moment and he will help make things right, answer questions when I have them, or even chit-chat if I wanted to. Jamin is always working on improving his products and pushing the industry forward to make things better. If and when I do have any problems or warranty issues, Jamin without question steps up and takes care of the issues in a hurry. There is no extensive push or me chasing multiple people to make things right. There is no headache to deal with. You deal with Jamin directly and he will absolutely take care of you. So as Kate and I plan our next major adventure and our Kingdom Camping trailer, we hope that this video has helped you or given you insight on which brand trailer is right for you. Again, we picked our trailer based on our research. So it's up to you to do your research to figure out which one's actually best for you. And if I did not cover a brand that you are interested in, I hope this video shows you what to look for, how to break it down, how to do the research and compare, and how to make the best informed decision that you can. It's not all about me selling you on my decision. It's about you making the right decision for you and buying on an informed choice. So from experiencing Arkansas, tread lightly, travel safe, and be free to explore your horizons.